I remember the smell first. Old paper, cold rain on a wool coat, the brass doorknob of the library, slick from 1,000 polite hands, and my own hands, always open, always giving, always saying, sure, of course, no problem. There's a kind of tired that doesn't come from work. It comes from being a hallway. People pass through you. They wipe their shoes on your patience. They leave. And you stay standing there smiling like it's fine. That was me. I'm Walter Hale, 90 years old. I spent most of my life as a librarian, quiet man, quiet building. I watched generations grow up between shelves, watched them turn into adults who still couldn't return a book on time. And I was nice, not kind. Nice. There's a difference. Kind is strong. Kind can say, no, that's not right, and still keep its heart. Nice is soft. Nice is worried. Nice smiles when it wants to flinch. Look, being nice is how I survived. It's how I avoided fights. It's how I kept the room warm when the people in it were cold. It's how I earned praise from folks who never planned to pay me back in love. But I'm 90 now, and I'm telling you the blunt truth. Being nice all the time is a slow way to disappear. I became the easy person, the one who stayed late because you're so reliable, the one who lent money because you'll understand, the one who listened to the same complaint for the 10th time because you're the only one who gets me, the one who carried the heavy boxes because you're still strong for your age. And every time I swallowed my own needs, it felt responsible, it felt mature, it felt noble. It was fear dressed up as virtue. My turning point wasn't a big movie moment. It was a Tuesday, the kind of Tuesday that steals your life while you're making tea. I'm 68, still working, still smiling at people who never look up from their demands. My wife Margaret calls the library. Her voice is thin, like tissue paper. Walt, I don't feel right. I'm standing by the returns desk, the air smelling like wet umbrellas and printer ink. A little boy is tracing letters in a book on dinosaurs. A volunteer is asking where we keep the staples. And the phone in my hand is suddenly the heaviest thing I've ever held. And I say the sentence I said 1,000,000 times to everyone else. Okay, I'll be there soon. Soon. Because right then a board member is standing at my desk tapping his watch like it owns me. He wants a report. He wants it now. He wants me to just stay a little late. He's smiling while he does it, like he's asking for sugar, not my life. And I do the nice thing. I nod. I apologize. I stay. I tell myself I'm being professional. I tell myself Margaret will be fine. I tell myself don't make trouble. I watch the clock above the reference section. Secondhand, 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 like a small blade going around and around. Then I drove to the hospital with my stomach full of ice, wipers squeaking, streetlights smeared in the rain. I rehearsed what I'd say when I walked in. Sorry, honey, long day. Like a long day is an excuse for absence. I arrived 2 hours later. The hallway smelled like bleach and old coffee. A nurse looked at me with the kind of face people wear when they've already said the worst news 50 times, and then she said it softly anyway. I'm sorry. They had already covered her. They had already put her rings in a small plastic bag like they were office supplies. Her last words to the nurse were, "He's always helping somebody." That sentence became a ghost in my house. For weeks I heard it in the kettle, in the creak of the floorboards, in the empty side of the bed. He's always helping somebody. And do you know what makes it cruel? It sounds like a compliment. It sounds sweet. It sounds like the kind of thing people say at funerals with warm eyes. But it wasn't sweet. It was a diagnosis. Here's the big lie that ruined me. Being nice keeps the people you love safe. No, Being nice keeps the people who use you comfortable. It keeps the loud ones fed. It keeps the selfish ones unchallenged. And it makes your real life wait in a hallway. Let me say it cleaner. Niceness is often fear in a pressed shirt. You're not avoiding conflict. You're avoiding the possibility of being disliked. And you pay for that avoidance with your time, your health, your relationships, your soul. I used to believe that if I stayed agreeable, life would reward me with peace. But peace you purchase by shrinking isn't peace. It's a cage you built yourself, one polite brick at a time. You want examples? I've got a museum of them. I said yes to family loans that were really donations. Metaphor. I watched my savings bleed out like a slow leak in a tire and then blamed the road. Action. I put a rule on paper. I don't lend money. I gift what I can once. And the hardest one, I said yes to silence. I let little insults slide because I didn't want to ruin the mood. Metaphor. That's like letting termites eat the house because you like the wallpaper. Action. I began naming the thing calmly. Don't speak to me like that. I'm not telling you to become mean. I'm telling you to become solid. A door with a lock, a fence with a gate, a man who can say no without shaking. Because if you don't choose your boundaries, someone else will choose them for you, and they will choose what benefits them. I learned that lesson again through a parable, one I wish was fiction. His name was Raymond Ray Carver, 1996. He was 59 and famous in our little town for one thing, never saying no. Ray ran a small hardware shop. Always smelled like sawdust and coffee. He kept a jar of loose screws on the counter and a jar of loose favors in his chest. Ray would fix your hinge, then carry your groceries, then listen to your marriage problems, then say, smiling, "If it helps you, it helps me." One winter afternoon he told me, laughing, "Walt, I'll rest when I'm dead." I remember the exact moment. He wiped his hands on his apron. His watch was cracked, still ticking. A customer was calling his name from the aisle like Ray was an employee of the entire world. 3 weeks later he was dead. A sudden collapse in the grocery aisle. A can of soup rolling away like a tiny drum. People screaming. The fluorescent lights humming like they didn't care. And on his phone, while his body was still warm, messages popped up. "Hey, quick favor? Can you drive me? Need you to cover my shift." Ray had trained people to see him as an extra tool in their drawer. So even when the tool broke, they still reached for it. At his funeral, I watched something that still turns my stomach. A man hugged Ray's widow with one arm, and with the other hand he asked, "So, what are you doing with the shop?" That's the end game of nice. You become a resource before you are a person. So here's the knife question. Don't dodge it. Don't make it poetic. If you died tomorrow, who would be truly sad and who would be simply inconvenienced? Because some people aren't attached to you. They're attached to what you provide. When you stop providing, their love evaporates like spit on hot pavement. All right, here's the framework I live by now. 4 parts. A battle plan for late life. Simple enough to remember when you're tired, strong enough to change your relationships. Rule 1, notice the price. Hard truth, every yes costs something. Metaphor, your day is a wallet. Stop handing strangers your cash. 1 action, after any request, say, "Let me check my calendar," even if you already know. Rule 2, name the fear. Hard truth, nice is often scared. Metaphor, you're holding a leash and you think it's love, but it's panic. 1 action, ask yourself out loud, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? Then answer honestly. Rule 3, say the clean no. Hard truth, a soft no is a delayed yes. Metaphor, a leaking roof still floods the house. One action, use one sentence, no story, no apology. Can't do it. That's it. And if your hands shake, fine, let them shake. Say it anyway. Rule 4, replace, don't retreat. Hard truth, boundaries create space. Fill it with what matters. Metaphor, you don't close a door to sit in darkness, you close it to protect a flame. One action. Every time you say no, immediately say yes to something real. Walk, call your daughter, cook, sit in the sun, pray, breathe. Now listen to me, because this part is where most people fail. The first time you stop being nice, the world will test you. They'll act confused. They'll guilt you. They'll say, you've changed. Yeah, you changed. You stopped being available for their convenience, and you will learn who you really are to them, not in their words, in their behavior. If Margaret could hear me, I think she'd say, Walt, finally. And I'd tell her, I'm sorry I was polite with the wrong people. I'm sorry I donated my hours like they were spare pennies. I'm sorry I treated love like a reward you earn by overextending. Look, the clock is not your enemy. It's your witness. It's counting the seconds you trade away. It's recording the moments you never get back. And one day it stops, whether you're ready or not. So here's my hard call to action. Today, pick one person you've been nice to out of fear. One. And practice a clean boundary, a simple no, a firm limit, a locked door. Then use the time you saved like it's holy. Give it to your body. Give it to your people. Give it to the quiet things that make you feel like yourself again. And if this hits you, don't just nod and move on. Type one word in the comments, boundary, not for me, for you. So you can see it tomorrow and remember who you're becoming, because being nice didn't save me. Truth did, and you still have time, so use it.